You talk about, in your book, Preventing Reverse Heart Disease, you have a chapter called Moderation Kills. So moderation is something that's very trendy right now. Can you tell us what you mean when you say moderation kills?
Yeah, well, I think you'll understand. When you look at heart disease, a couple of points. Heart disease, in truth, is nothing more than a toothless paper tiger that need never, ever exist. And if it does exist, it need never, ever progress. Why? This is a completely benign foodborne illness. Yeah. Now, for example, in this nation, right now, we have built a billion-dollar health industry around an illness that does not even exist in half the planet. I mean, how shameful really is that? Now, coming back to your question originally was about
moderation.
Yeah. Here's why it doesn't work. All experts would agree that where this disease has its inception, its onset, is when we progressively injure the life jacket and the guardian of our blood vessel, which happens to be that delicate innermost lining, the endothelium, which manufactures that absolutely marvelous molecule of gas, nitric oxide, which is the salvation for all of our blood vessels. Why? Because it has these remarkable functions of one. It keeps all the cellular elements flowing in our bloodstream like Teflon rather than Velcro. Keeps things from getting sticky. Number two, nitric oxide is the strongest blood vessel dilator in the body. When you climb stairs, the arteries to your heart, the arteries to your legs, they widen, they dilate. That's nitric oxide. Number three, nitric oxide prevents the wall of your artery from becoming thick and stiff or inflamed, protects you from getting high blood pressure or hypertension. And number four, this is key, an adequate, safe amount of nitric oxide protects you from ever developing blockages or plaque. So here is the key. Everybody on the planet who has cardiovascular disease has their disease because they have now so sufficiently trashed and injured their endothelial capacity to make nitric oxide, they don't have enough to protect themselves. So now here's where this moderation nonsense, I think, gets knocked out of the park. If you have somebody, let's say, who's had a heart attack, right? Everybody has, by the way, triple vessel disease. No matter what the angiogram shows, everybody's got triple vessel disease. But let's say they've got one where they had a heart attack. The left anterior descending had a 98% blockage or occlusion, and the patient had a heart attack. Now they're stable, everything's going fine, they're no longer having pain, but they're walking around with this disease. Now, if you're in traditional cardiology, you'll give them some drugs, some medication, something for blood pressure, cholesterol lowering drug, maybe an anti-clotting drug, some aspirin, none of which have anything whatsoever to do with the causation of the illness. So let's suppose that I get a patient who says to me, Dr. Esselstyn, you'd be proud of me. I'm following your program 85%. And I said, well, wait a minute. I don't know whose program you're talking about, but I don't have a program that's 85%. Well, but your program is pretty extreme and pretty radical. I said, no, wait a minute. When you say extreme or radical, would you say that to the Okinawans or the rural Chinese or those in Central Africa or the Tarahumara who have eaten this way for centuries and who never have heart disease? No, let's be clear about this. The most radical nutrition on the planet is the one that 97% of Americans are eating that guarantees that they're going to suffer from chronic illness, all right? But why? I'll ask this patient, why? With you who've had a heart attack. Now, do you understand the only reason you had a heart attack was that you so sufficiently trashed and injured your endothelial cells, you didn't have enough nitric oxide to protect yourself. And what you've been doing, telling me you've been doing is that you're still 15%, albeit, you're still hammering away trying to injure more of your endothelial cells. This is not a malignancy. These cells have an opportunity to recover. You're not giving them an opportunity to recover. Matter of fact, you're making them worse. You're trying to get a second heart attack. Makes no sense. That's my answer to moderation. And that is why I think we succeed, because when you Have the patients that do this and do it right, their disease actually is history. And we think it takes about 3 weeks to restore enough of the endothelial cell that you cannot rupture your plaque.